Kaag Bhusundi is a fascinating and revered character from Hindu mythology, particularly within the framework of the Ramayana and the Puranas. His story is primarily found in the Ramcharitmanas, an epic poem written by Tulsidas, where Kaag Bhusundi is depicted as an eternal devotee of Lord Rama in the form of a crow. The tale of Kaag Bhusundi is a spiritual journey of transformation, devotion, and realization. His story illustrates the power of devotion and the importance of humility and wisdom. Here is the full story of Kaag Bhusundi. Kaag Bhusundi was originally a human sage born in the Dwapar Yuga. He belonged to a Brahmin family but had a strong inclination toward the worship of Lord Shiva. He was deeply learned in the scriptures but was also proud, stubborn, and disrespectful toward other deities, especially Vishnu and his avatar Rama. Bhusundi had an arrogant attitude, believing that his devotion to Shiva was the only path to spiritual fulfillment, often criticizing other paths, including those who revered Vishnu. Kaag Bhusundi was originally a member of the Sudra class of Ayodhya. An ardent devotee of the god Shiva, he held the god Vishnu and the Vaishnavas in disdain, despite his guru's efforts to discourage him from this mindset. Once, Kaag Bhusundi refused to pay his respects to his guru while he was engaged in prayers to Shiva in a temple. Angered, Shiva cursed his ungrateful devotee to take the form of a serpent and live 1,000 lives as a small creature. After his guru prayed to the deity to mitigate the curse, Shiva said that after his 1,000 cursed births, Kaag Bhusundi would become a devotee of Rama. The deity also warned him never to displease a guru again. Accordingly, after the cursed births, Kaag Bhusundi was born as a Brahmin and became a great follower of Rama and a sage. While listening to a sage named Lomash discourse on the merits of Nirguna, non-qualified absolute worship, compared to Saguna, qualified absolute worship of Brahman, he refused to accept these views. Lomash, in a fit of rage, cursed him to become a crow. The sage told Garuda that every Treta Yuga, he visits Ayodhya and lives in the city for 5 years, observing the child Rama as a crow. Once Rama tried to catch him with all the antics of an excited child. The sage had a moment of doubt about Rama's divinity. When Kaag Bhusundi flew to the sky, he realized that the deity's fingers were always only fingertips away from him, even when he was flying to Brahmaloka. When he opened his eyes, he found himself back in Ayodhya amid the laughing child. He saw a cosmic vision in Rama's mouth, which saw millions of suns and moons, and within each celestial object, a vision of the sage himself in Ayodhya. He lived within each of these realms for centuries and returned through Rama's mouth to find himself back in the same moment he had left. Bewildered, he begged Rama for salvation and was instantly blessed. He chose to live forever as a crow because he had been blessed by his presiding deity in that form. After being cursed, Bhusundi was reborn as a crow but retained the memory of his previous life. Over time, he realized the folly of his arrogance and understood the profound importance of devotion to all forms of the divine, including Rama, the avatar of Vishnu. Bhusundi wandered across the world in his new crow form, meditating deeply on his past actions. His heart was filled with remorse and longing for spiritual truth. He became humble and began to see the unity in the divine forms of Shiva and Vishnu. In his deep meditation and repentance, Bhusundi caught the attention of Lord Shiva, who had been watching over him throughout his journey. Shiva, pleased with Bhusundi's transformation, appeared before him and granted him the Boon of Immortality. Shiva also blessed him with the ability to witness the events of the Ramayana cycle eternally and gave him the power to retain his crow form throughout the different yugas or ages. Thus, Bhusundi would forever be able to observe and meditate on the divine play or Leela of Lord Rama. After receiving these blessings, Bhusundi's heart overflowed with devotion to Lord Rama. He made his home near Mount Nilkant in the Himalayas and perched in a Kalpavriksha, a divine wish-fulfilling tree. From there, he began to meditate constantly on the Ramayana, witnessing the events of the epic repeatedly across different cycles of time. Bhusundi's devotion to Rama grew so profound that he entered into a state of constant meditation, narrating the Ramayana to other devotees who sought his wisdom. His knowledge of the Ramayana became unparalleled because he had witnessed it in countless kalpas or epochs. He would often explain the story of Lord Rama to other birds, sages, and celestial beings, spreading the glory of Rama's life and teachings. One of the most famous episodes in Kaag Bhusundi's story is his dialogue with Garuda, the celestial eagle and the mount of Lord Vishnu. Garuda, once filled with doubts about the greatness of Rama and the significance of his human avatar, was directed by Lord Vishnu to Kaag Bhusundi to clear his misconceptions. When Garuda met Kaag Bhusundi in his crow form, he was initially skeptical. However, as Bhusundi narrated the story of the Ramayana with such depth, clarity, and love, Garuda's doubts began to dissolve. Bhusundi explained that the divine nature of Rama is beyond mere form and attributes, and it is the essence of Dharma, compassion, and truth that Rama embodies, making him the supreme being worthy of devotion. Garuda, overwhelmed by Bhusundi's wisdom and devotion, became a devout follower of Lord Rama and realized the profoundness of Rama's incarnation. Kaag Bhusundi's immortality allowed him to witness the cycles of time, the rise and fall of civilizations, and the eternal recurrence of the Ramayana. His crow form became symbolic of his detachment from ego and his deep humility. Although he had been cursed to live as a crow, Bhusundi came to cherish this form as it kept him grounded in simplicity and devotion. He took pride in his eternal duty of narrating Lord Rama's story, acting as a spiritual guide to countless seekers over the ages. Kaag Bhusundi's legacy is that of a true and eternal devotee of Lord Rama. Despite his crow form, he is respected by sages, celestial beings, and even gods for his wisdom and knowledge of the Ramayana. His story continues to inspire devotees to cultivate humility, devotion, and a deep understanding of the divine's play in the world. Kaag Bhusundi represents the transformative power of devotion and humility. Despite his initial arrogance, he attained the highest spiritual wisdom and became an immortal devotee of Lord Rama. His life teaches that no matter how one starts, the path of devotion can lead to ultimate liberation and wisdom. Through his dialogues with Garuda and his eternal meditation on the Ramayana, Kaag Bhusundi exemplifies the essence of unwavering devotion to the divine.